Hey everyone, welcome back to another segment of the MCR. Took a little break on Monday. I was in the land of Orange this past weekend. As Mac likes to say, the volunteer state.
Yes.
Yeah, when you go down there, all the stores are selling all sorts of orange-colored souvenirs. We'll say Cracker Barrel and wherever, you know. But anyways, we're back and we're back at it. And in this segment, we're going to discuss Senator Chock Grassley's rant on the Senate floor the other day. And he said some things that were, Mac and I kind of already knew, to the point where I thought, okay, so what? And then, okay, now what? Mac, thoughts?
Every time they make a proclamation, or they like in the House, if they bring somebody out and they put them on the hot seat, so what?
Yeah. And you want to scream welcome to the party.
Yeah.
I guess the difference here though is, and to use a phrase or term from Dan Bongino, Chock Grassley brought receipts. You know,
Interesting
and
way to put
and
that.
and I guess Senator Grassley, he too has seen the FD 1023 that the House committee was looking at last week. And that copy of FD 1023 had less redactions than what the House committee viewed last week. I think that bothered him to the point where, he's calling out the FBI saying, hey, look, according to Chock Grassley, and I'll admit, I'm just going with what Grassley's saying here. But according to Senator Grassley, this FD 1023 is not classified. So one, why are you withholding it? Two, why are there redactions in it?
Yeah, right.
You know? And
I think we know the answer to that question.
yeah. But so, you know, and I'll say this: a year ago, did I think that this FD 1023 existed? Not necessarily. Probably, I will tell you. We dare we employ, as I like to say, dare we employ common sense?
Yeah.
You know, uh, a, a drug addicted individual on the executive board of a energy company. I mean, who what CEO in his right mind would tolerate that? You
Well,
know,
it might as well be you or I on that board, for as
you
much
know
as I
what?
know about oil and gas.
You know what? Probably better decisions might have been made.
Yes,
You know,
that's
uh,
true.
but I guess in Senator Grassley's rant, he made reference to recordings, saying that in the 1023 it identifies a source, and the source claims, and they say this source is reputable, okay? But see, we don't know who the source is, okay? So, uh, but the source says they got recordings. They got recordings of the crime, and I call it a crime, whether or not it's an actual prosecutable
Well,
crime.
bribery is a crime.
Yeah,
That's what's
uh,
being alleged here.
you know, and then I come full circle back to the so what, and this is I guess the reason. I just hope this somehow plays favorably toward the next election. Is what I'm really hoping comes of this.
Well, here's the
You know?
thing. He's not going to get Joe Biden will not be removed from office because the Democrats protect their own, uh, while Republicans eat their own. If you remember back, and we were young when this happened, but Richard Nixon wasn't thrown out by Democrats. Richard Nixon was thrown out by Republicans.
Yes. Not that I remember it that well, but I remember the Republican senators going to him and saying, "The votes are there." You
You got
know,
to resign.
Yeah, because the votes are there. You know, and Director Wray, the FBI director, it took threat of contempt before he, did his business or got off the pot, as we'll say.
Well, when you look at the people who are implicated here, you got Bill Barr. Certainly, he knew about it and sat on it.
Yeah, and I read about that and I thought, shame on me for thinking so highly of that guy.
Yeah.
I mean, reasoning did he employ for his conduct at that time?
He had it, I believe he had it in his mind. Well, who knows who his masters are, for one thing.
Yeah, really.
But I think he had it in his mind, and this is why he didn't want to look at any claims of voter fraud or voter, election fixing, blah, 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 and any of those things in that category, is because he had already decided in February that Trump was going to lose because he was too brash. And I think he had it in his head, and you know what? This is what's happened because he's supposed to lose, and yada, yada, yada. I'm not going to speak for Bill Barr, but because I don't know him, but the actions speak for themselves, I think.
Well, this is the type of situation, and this is where I come do a really big full circle back to the contempt I have for the rhinos and the DC establishment Republicans.
Yeah.
Mitch
McConnell on down.
I mean, push this aside as if there's nothing there, and let a Democrat come into office, and look at all the mess. Aside from the Burisma bribery thing, look at all the mess that has transpired in the last 2 years of this administration because of highbrow Republicans.
Well, had this happened in a Republican administration, people would be asking, what did Barack Obama know and when did he know it?
There is the theory part of that is at play, because as much as this is a Biden scandal, the common denominator in a lot of this history is President Barack Obama.
Well,
President Barack Obama knew Hillary had a non-governmental email, and the reason, there's a very unique reason to this. I listen to Dan Bongino, and Dan Bongino gives it from a Secret Service perspective. He goes, do you realize that emails have to be what they call white listed? And her email would not have been a .gov, we'll say, okay?
Right.
Which means, and because it was not a .gov email, it would have had to have been white listed for Obama to receive it on his BlackBerry.
I think the email account was crossmeandyou'llgetdead.com.
Yeah. So, the whole thing, Obama knew about Hillary. Obama knew about Biden. A lot of this, Obama knew about the Russia hoax. You know, Obama, he's the common thread in all of this hanky-panky.
Well, I'm sure they set him up with some kind of plausible deniability. Well, other than the Russia hoax, which he knew, this is not a stupid man. He knew this was going to interfere in the election, and he was fine with it, as far as I can tell. Yeah. He didn't do anything to stop it.
Coming back to what I said at the beginning of this segment with Grassley's rant the other day, welcome to the party. We'll see what happens. I can only hope that this plays to our advantage in the next election, and at best, it's a hope for me personally. So that's all I got on this one. Any final thoughts, or?
I think we said what we can say.
Equally hoping, I guess. All right, that's it for this one. I'll catch you in the next rant. As always, be safe, watch your six, and don't tread on me.